Oh boy. So very interesting weekend that just took place here in Miami. Welcome to episode 7 of the Battered Fans podcast. If you're watching this, Ronnie alongside me right now is wearing shades. He's wearing a UFC hat. He's wearing all black. Uh, Funeral colors, probably because of our season. I think it's time to mourn the Mets season at this point. And the UFC hat because it's very violent. At the conclusion of today's game on May 22nd, oh, I'm sorry, May 24th, we got swept by the Miami Marlins. And I think embarrassment is putting it very kindly. I would rant, but earlier today, Ronnie had texted me that he cannot wait to do this podcast. And I think it's only fair that I try to be the voice of reason because what's about to happen is Ronnie's going to share his thoughts on what happened. And I think only one of us deserves to share our 2 cents into this team. And I think Ronnie will get the honors on this episode. Ronnie, real quick, before I hand the mic to you and you get to give your thoughts and your feelings on the New York Mets. I'm sorry, looking at you right now is terrifying me. Um, Before we get into it, I just want to share my quick thought. Like I said, embarrassment is putting it very gently. The Mets this weekend, it was pathetic. It was a no show. The title of this episode was my idea, which makes it. I mean, it sums up the weekend. We went MIA in the MIA, especially our offense. In we need a lot of answers from this ball club because this is just pathetic at this point. And it's a broken record. We're very inconsistent, but now it's clear this is not a good ball club at all. This is not a good team. A lot of fingers will be pointed. And yeah, we need answers. We're gonna do our best to figure out who's to blame and what needs to happen with this franchise. I think we're sick of being a joke at this point. I'm sure you are. I hate it. This is rock bottom. I don't see how it gets worse because we got swept by the worst team in baseball, or one of the worst franchises in MLB history, in my opinion, Miami Marlins. And it's a bummer that we came into the series with hope that we needed a sweep and we felt like this team could get it done. I had predicted 2 out of 3. I thought that was reasonable, and we couldn't even get one win. And so we'll get into the analysis of the whole series as a whole. I feel like we shouldn't break down each game because there's nothing to break down really. It was truly a pathetic series. So that being said, Ronnie, the floor is yours.
I only got 2 words. Season's dead.
Okay.
Season's over.
Mm. White towel. That's it.
I would throw it in.
Oh boy.
Look, look. What is there to look forward to at this point? I'm gonna be blunt. This offense only got we got 3 hits Friday, 3 hits yesterday,
11,
5 hits
11 total
today,
hits and 2 total
two
runs in the span
runs.
of
That's
three
it
three games in Miami.
in Miami. That's
Do
pathetic.
we do we blame Club 11 or
I'm sorry.
Tootsies? Club 11,
Oh,
Tootsies. What are we
look,
blaming? We blame.
you
Did
you
they go
mentioned
out?
you
I
you
need to
mentioned
know.
you mentioned something about that earlier today. Young guys coming out to Miami for the first time. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
Hmm.
fuck who you are. I don't care how old you are, how much fun you want to have. It's still early in the season. Save that shit for the off season. There's no
Hmm.
reason for you guys to be out there partying if that's the case, if that's what's happening. I get everybody wants to have fun, but you know what's better than having fun? Winning.
Yes.
When you win, you have fun. But if you're not winning, why are you going out? Why is nobody stepping up in the clubhouse? And I think we're gonna get into that in a little bit. I just want to bring something up real quick. I also don't want to do game by game. There's really not much to talk about. Friday, the highlight was Juan Soto. He hit a solo shot. Obviously,
First inning, out the
yeah,
gate.
right off the bat, right off the gate. he's obviously getting hot, but at what expense? Our pitchers, they can't. I don't even know who to blame. I really don't know who to blame. But Devin
Hmm.
Williams, I praised him the other day, and he couldn't. He only got one out today, two walks,
Yep.
walk off,
Yep.
grand slam, against a guy who's hitting below 200.
I feel like that was the perfect way to sum up this weekend. Like it
Oh
just had to
man,
happen. Like a walk off grand slam is like, damn man. Like that happened. I don't mean to cut you off, Ronnie, but like that happened, and in my mind, I was just thinking, wow, I was gonna go to the game. The tickets last second were $5 tickets. I had dropped off my girlfriend at the airport, and I said, you know, what, let me just go to the stadium. It's like right there. I said, no, no, you know what? Let me not. I'll come visit my dad. And oh boy, I think going. I think that would have. I think I would have been like you. I think I would have dressed in funeral colors, but I'm not.
there's nothing to look forward to. So I have a habit. I don't know what to call it, but I just know when these things happen in May, I always tell everybody, nah, season's over. There's no way we're coming back from this. These are the games that you have to win. These are the games that you have to take because when it's time to be go for a playoff push, and if you're 3 games, 4 games, 5 games behind, and that's if that's how we're going to finish the season, we're always going to think back. We could have taken these games.
Yep.
Good teams
Yep.
batter. They beat up on the bad teams.
We got swept by
Uh,
the Rockies at home and swept by the Marlins in a series that we should have not get swept at. Yeah,
our
I know. I
CEO,
agree
the
with you,
CEO said, "Ah man, look, that pissed me off on Thursday. I think it was that Thursday night
Mr.
or
CEO
Friday
did tell
morning.
us that. Yeah,
He said the Mets were losing 2 games. I was like, bruh, did
yeah,
this guy just really say like we're losing the shit? We ended up getting swept. I
yeah.
asked for a sweep, not this way, not this kind of sweep. And if
I'm
I
so
were if
yeah.
if I was in charge of making the title, I would put the season's over. Like
Season's over. Yeah.
there's no coming back from this.
I didn't put seasons over as a title because one
You're
is
holding on
we
to
want to
hope.
try to make it clickbait, but also there's like 2% of me that's not ready to throw in the white towel, and I
Uh,
just do not know why. Because I feel like every time I say it's rock bottom, this team, I said rock bottom 3 times already, and then they just happen to win like 1 or 2 series after. Like they give me a little bit of hope. But I'm with you. This was a slap in the face, and this is reality. Sorry, I turned off my mic. This is the part where it's fair to say that the season's done. Like I too would throw in the white towel at this point. It's right there. It's a reality check that we don't want. The delusional fans like myself. We hate to admit it, but this team is just not good. It's not good enough. And I had gone on my rant and 2 weeks ago that this team pisses me off and the offense is inept. And here we are again. Same thing. The offense is pathetic. It's 11 hits, uh, 2 runs total. Ronnie, Juan Soto did not have a chance in this series where he had a runner on base.
hmm,
Like
that's
no
terrible.
one was no one's on base. Soto did not have any chance, and you can't blame Soto. I mean, what can he do? Like what what else he's about to do? And then he's out today with an illness. I had joked that he's not slick. Illness in Miami. Let me come on, man. It's a hangover, man. You don't get sick overnight in Miami. It's a hangover. Uh, but I too would be out with illness if I have to put on Mets jersey on and play for this team. Like this team makes me sick. And I agree with that. Like I don't know. It's not Soto's fault. Bichette, I mean, is again super inconsistent. He's not reliable. Vientos, my goodness. Benj, and the thing is, it's hard to get around the offense because we called up like 5 players, 6 players in the last 2 weeks. They're young, so if you get mad at them, yeah, they're young. So now, given how we got swept by the Marlins, we need to ask the question again because it was supposed to happen. If I thought it was going to happen, and I came to his defense, and I said I don't think it's the right choice because he seems like a nice guy, but he also seems to know what he's doing, right? I think it's fair to say at this point now, Ronnie, It didn't happen at the time. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I feel like it should happen now. You gotta fire Mendoza,
Somebody's got to
right?
be held
Like
responsible for this. Somebody's got
at
to
this
be held
point,
responsible.
someone needs to be held. It's we're at the end of May. Well, there's a series coming up with the Nationals. We're not gonna preview too much of it, guys. Like we're just McLean is pitching, and we don't know the other two guys that will be pitching because of the holes in the in the rotation. And I will say something about the rotation. If we get a little more deep into the Marlins series, but overall, someone needs to get blamed for this. Someone needs to
Mhm.
get blamed for this, and it's always the coach. It's always the coach. If Lindor was playing, okay, and this was the outcome 22 and 31, Lindor is known to be a historically slow player in the season, right? He's like Mr. Summer and playoff guy. I would make the argument that he needs to be out. And Ronnie, you and I have we've said it for years. I think for the last 2 or 3 years, we really don't like Lindor. He has his moments, and like yeah, like he's a cool player to have, but it's just something about him. I don't know if it's just like we hold him to a higher standard and we want more from him. But I personally was not the biggest Lindor guy, and I was cool with him not being a New York Met. And I don't care if you call me crazy. I don't care if you call me stupid. I don't care. That's my opinion. I feel like and Ronnie agrees, and Ronnie too. He's been on that boat. We feel like we should. I don't want Lindor. We should trade him, but he's injured, and he doesn't deserve this blame. Okay, clearly there's something going on that the players are not understanding, or the players are not as focused as they should. There's something going on with the ball club, and that goes right to the management. I don't know who sets up the lineups. I don't know who's in charge of the pitch. I don't know. I don't have the inside information on that. But what I will say is from past time, when the players are not performing at the right level, when there seems to be friction among some players, like again, the rumors with Lindor and Soto, it just goes to the head coach. And at this point, someone needs to get blamed. And usually the coach gets blamed. And yeah, he seems like a nice guy. But you know what? The Mets, if they're gonna be serious and they want, the if I can't remember his name anymore, but if Stearns and our owner, Steve, they wanna earn at least some respect from the fans, you need to make drastic changes. And firing Mendoza is the first domino to let them at least tell us we understand the fans are frustrated. We understand that we're failing as a franchise, and we acknowledge that. And we're gonna try to fix it. And can't guarantee we're gonna get into the playoffs at this point. You can't. But tell the fans that yeah, we're serious. We want to win, and you know what? We fucked up, and we're gonna take responsibility for this. And we're wrong about Mendoza, so he's fired. Now I don't know who's gonna replace him. I would love Alex Cora. That ain't happening. I don't see him getting a job this time this year. There's no reason for him to get a job this year, especially come to a ball club like the Mets, unless we give him
Mm.
a Juan Soto contract. A lot of questions. The conversation is going to come up now, and I think it's fair for us to get ahead of the curve. Ronnie, do you fire Mendoza? And if you do, what replacement options do we have? And what can the new coach even salvage out of this ball club?
There's a lot to unpack off of what you said. God bless you. And what's it called? Yeah, I think it's time to part ways with Mendoza. He
Hmm.
was talking earlier about scuffling the lineup. It's like you don't know what to do with your own guys. You're in the middle. It's about to be the end of May. You have a losing record. You have the ball club that you were given, and you still don't know what to do with them. You only have who Nimmo and it's three guys: Nimmo, McNeil, and Alonso gone. Now, part of the blame does go to Stearns, but obviously nobody's going to want to fire a GM during the middle of the season. I don't think you ever see that happening. If anything, that happens during the offseason where they
Yeah.
part ways.
Yeah.
But at this point, someone does need to be held accountable. You mentioned Francisco Lindor. Yeah, I was never a big fan of the guy. He had his moments where I did cheer for him. Obviously, he's on the Mets, on the team that I like cheering for. But I just didn't like the way he held them hostage throughout most of the offseason, I think it was up until March or something like that,
Yeah, with the
um,
contract.
with the contract. And, they could have signed other players, but they were essentially waiting for him to sign.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think Lindor, the whole drama behind him, what was happening during the beginning of the season, we kind of have to put that in the back burner for now and see what he does when he comes back.
Yeah.
It may be too late to tell because the Mets might not even make the playoffs this year just because of how they're doing now. These games are just as important as they are in August and September. You just have to go in at 110% in those 2 months before you make the playoffs. But if someone's going to be held accountable, if you're going to hold somebody, grab them by the foot, it has to be Mendoza, the coach. He sees the players every day. He's the one that makes most of the calls out there day in and day out. He's the one that does the lineup. I assume he's the one that does the lineups every day. And he just said today they're scuffling guys up and down the batting order. And it's, yo, just stick with one and stick with what's working.
Yeah.
Stop trying to change things around. And it's the whole crap, the whole bull crap with these analytics bullshit, that they try to put guys in certain order or whatever the case is, just because
Yeah.
they're hit this way against a lefty or righty, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it wasn't like that, and it worked. It worked
Yeah.
when you had the same set of guys in the same lineup every single day. I remember in 2006, that crazy lineup we had from 1 to 6 or 1 to 7. uh Willie Randolph did not change that lineup for like 5 6 months up until the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
It was working. You had Jose Reyes, you had Paulo
The
Duca,
Duca.
I think it was Carlos Beltran,
Beltran,
Carlos
right.
Delgado, they were
Delgado on right.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think you had Cliff Floyd or Sean Green, Jose Valentin. Bro, it was 1 through 7
Yeah.
every single day, and they won 97 games that season. So why are you gonna change? Why are they trying to do different things now? It's obviously not working.
Yeah.
So
Do you
yeah.
know if Mendoza is an analytics guy? An analytics coach himself? Because Stearns is big on analytics.
Hmm.
Clearly, it's not working. And if Mendoza, see, and again, this is see because this is the interesting conversation because I mentioned his name, Alex Cora. I'm under the impression, this is my opinion. You could agree with me or disagree with me. I'm under the opinion, okay, or in this belief that Cora is a manager that if he comes to the Mets, because in my opinion, he's a top five coach in baseball. I'm not gonna argue where 1 or 5, I don't care. He's a top five coach. But the key thing about him is that he's not an analytics guy. That's why he got fired from Boston.
Hmm.
And he doubles down on who he believes is the right guy to play at the right moment. And if the bat is hot, the bat is hot. You can't bench him. He's an old school guy, and that
Correct.
works. That
Correct.
works.
He
Not
actually
these. Not
played.
these.
He actually played for winning ball clubs.
Yes,
That's the
that's a
difference.
winning culture.
Sorry to cut you off,
No, yeah,
but
I
no,
agree.
but I'm saying when he played baseball,
Yeah,
he actually played baseball, so he knows. He
yeah,
comes from the grit, the heart, the toughing it out, and that grit era of baseball.
yeah. Of playing 162, pitchers were throwing over 100
Hmm.
pitches, not speed, 100
Correct.
pitches or more.
Correct. Yeah.
Um, so what I was trying to say was Cora is a guy that I truly believe will change the culture of the New York Mets. Like I don't think we would be a joke, and that'll be one hell of a signing. But if Stearns is our general manager for a long time, or if he sticks out, I don't see a partnership with him and Cora, and I believe Alex knows that too. He would not want to work for a guy like Stearns. If
No,
Mendoza is an analytics coach, or he accepts that,
he
then
is.
that's
I just
he is
I just
right.
confirmed it. He
So
is.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm a bit, that's why I someone needs to get blamed, and that's why a lot of time I don't know if that's Mendoza doing the lineups, because I feel like sometimes Stearns might have a say in those too. That's why he got those players. I don't think Mendoza's out there shopping for these type of guys. Stearns brought these guys in for a reason, and he needs to work with that. So I feel like Stearns has a stay in that lineup as well, because he's just as active with the Mets. I'm not saying he doesn't care. Like he cares. I'm gonna dismiss that. Shit, he just made the wrong decisions, and it has not worked out. It's the wrong gamble he did for this ball club, and that's why I need to see
Well,
who
that's
gets the
sweet.
blame.
That's nice of you to say. That's very sweet
Yeah,
because I'm gonna shit on Stern's parade on your little
yeah,
shitty Stern parade right now because you let go. You traded Nimmo to Texas, and we
yeah.
got Marcus Simeon.
I hated that
Right?
trade. I hated that trade.
Have you seen Nimmo's numbers in Texas?
So he's doing great. I mean,
Two
he's always
se-
been great. He's always been a
he's
consistent
hitting
guy.
he's hitting 275 with
Yeah,
53 hits, while Marcus Simeon is hitting 214 with
yeah.
41 hits.
Nimmo did
What
that
what
for
exact
us.
what exactly did we get back?
Nothing.
Why
That's
did
why I
why did
said
we trade?
he
So no,
nothing.
screw that. Stearns, I you can say he cares, you can
Yeah,
say that he's a nice guy. I don't give off. I don't care. But
agreed.
the moves that he made, the players that he let walk, you don't build. All right, if you're gonna let a core players leave or trade them away after building something and gaining some momentum for a few years, then you don't try to promise us a playoff team when you let these guys go,
Yeah,
when you trade them away. It's pretty much rebuilding at this point, and that's what it's looking like.
yeah.
Because now, if we continue this route, what's going to happen at the end of July?
We have to
Most likely,
sell.
we're going to be sellers.
We're
We're
gonna
going to have
sell,
to get rid of these contracts that we've given during the offseason if they're back from the IL.
and it's gonna be
I'm
hard to
talking
sell
about
them.
Louis
It's
Robert Jr. Yeah, exactly. It's going to
it's
be
gonna be
hard to
hard to
sell.
sell that. Yeah, we're gonna have
Exactly.
to eat a lot of the money.
Exactly.
It's a
So
disaster.
I will start with Freddie Peralta. I don't want him on the rotation. The guy is
Wow,
so inconsistent. He is so inconsistent. I like the
wow.
dude, but he is just, bro. When was it? Yesterday, he went 7 innings, but it seems like the bullpen are putting up better numbers than he
They
is.
are, and
He
yeah. I'm sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but no, I agree with the bullpen and adding insult to Mendoza's what I saw this weekend. Tobias Myers is good, and the decision, like
That pissed me off.
I
That pissed
don't
me
that
off.
yeah, and that this is where like the it creeped back into my mind. I'm like, I don't know what Mendoza's doing, and getting swept. It's just adding insult to injury, or it just fuels the thought in my mind when that happened. Mendoza, I don't understand what the rush is to take these bullpen guys out. If they're starting and they're dealing, what's the rush? What are we saving them for? Are we saving them to use them for like because whether he pitches 1 inning or he pitches 4 innings, he's not gonna be available the next day. So
Mhm.
what's the rush to take him out of the game to then put in another pitcher? And Sean Manaea, he was the one that he came after Myers, right? He pitched like 4 innings.
He
He
pitched 3 and 2/3. Yeah.
right, but Sean Manaea. So you take out Myers, who's pitching well so far,
Yep.
right? Credit to
Yep.
him. And he was
Yep.
supposed to be more of an extended, more an extension to his innings pitch in the bullpen for us, right?
Yep.
And you put in Sean Manaea, who is struggling, and there's a runner on base, on second base. Why are you gonna put a pitcher who's struggling? You're gonna rush to put him into the game to take out someone who's trustworthy, and then you're gonna have someone you don't trust who's struggling to try to pitch out of that situation. Why would you do that? Because the game is tied, and then he gives up the run after to make it 2-1, and our offense doesn't score. So I don't know what Mendoza's. I don't know what the thinking is there, and it's just moments that it just pisses you off because it makes you wonder. Look, I'm not a head coach. And if you
Right.
put me to coach a team tomorrow, I'm not gonna know a lot of the stuff. But you know what? Or like I'm gonna be very slow with the game, the flow of the game and make any decisions. That's why I don't get paid to do that. But if you and I are fans and we're calling that out, and then the effect happens where what we feared happens, and like we don't get paid for that stuff, it just makes you wonder like how are these guys coaching at this level making those type of mistakes, like, or it makes you scratch your head, and it just infuriates you, as a fan. Like you're watching these decisions where like it just makes you think what the hell, what's the thought process behind that, and then we're losing games. I just do not understand. And that's why we brought the topic of should we fire Mendoza, and we both agree. Yes, we need to. He needs to get fired. Someone needs to get the fallout for this. You're right about Stearns. If he's gonna be gone, it's gonna be off season. He needs to owe up. He needs to stop because I believe he comes and he does a press conference after like every time we return from a road trip, he does like a press conference at the. He needs to just come out and just say flat out, listen, like, yeah, this is a disaster, and like I fucked up. I will do my best
Exactly.
to turn this
Yes.
around. And
Exactly.
at the end of the season, you don't announce, but I'm sick of this hopeful gimmick because we're not stupid. Like Met fans, we're gonna be here. We're pissed. We'll be there. But you need to stop lying to our face and stop with the bullshit of stuff. We're hoping we will turn this around. We have the guys to do it. No, we don't. We don't have to.
Clearly, we don't.
The guys who you thought is gonna turn this season around are injured, and you can't rely on them. And you traded for them. You gambled on those guys. So that's why the only credit, and it's not a compliment, the only credit I give Stearns is that he tried to go all in. Cool. But you did the wrong gamble. And this is not the way to do it. You fucked up because of the analytics and the numbers, and you gambled on what the potential could be if these guys perform at the level they're capable of. You don't do that, man. You should
You
have gambled on
know
the guys that play every single day and love this organization as much as
the
we do.
team.
And
Yeah.
they all left because you wanted to bring in guys who you thought is going to get us over the bridge or over the hump and get into the World Series. But no. So Stearns needs to, until he admits that, he can't take the team serious. And I don't know if they're going to fire Mendoza. You fire Mendoza, that's the first domino, because that tells me that Stearns is going to openly admit that he fucked this one up. And until that doesn't happen, this team is going nowhere. And
Well,
Soto's going to, I feel bad for Soto at this point.
it would be a nice mic drop if he also says, and with that, I'm also resigning.
That would be an emergency podcast.
It won't happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Emergency podcast.
It won't happen. It won't
Yeah.
happen. I don't know what Steve Cohen sees in Stearns. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't understand it. I
And I'm
don't.
sick of his positive tweets, by the way. It's just a personal pet peeve of mine. Stop with the positivity. Like Mets fans, when if we win 2 games in a row, LFGM, or he's trying to be positive. Shut up, man. We're 22-31. You're the owner. You need to see look, you got the money. I love that. And you're spending it. I love that. But look at the record, man. Look what's going on. You can't be stupid enough and see that and think this is positive. This is not it, man. This is not. If you think we're suckers, you're messing with the wrong ball club, man. We're not suckers. Don't fuck with our emotions. We already go through this too much. We're hungry for wins. Look at our record, 22-31. I want no positivity out of this. Someone needs to be held accountable. Be a boss. All right? Be a boss. Fire someone. Like, just do something. Ronnie, I will say after all that I just said, I did mention like just one positive that I might have taken out. We called up Tongue. It looked pretty good. I know Miami is not a superstar fucking, 2006 Mets lineup tier lineup, but he looked pretty good for, coming back to the MLB. And for what it's worth, I think Tongue deserves to start. And let's just see where it goes. And I mean, we're playing house money at this point. Like, we're
I
9
have a
games under.
question.
Go for it.
Yeah, I would say so too. But did you see that game on Friday?
Friday, I was out I had to watch the recap. So MLB does like the condensed games, the quick highlights. I
Yeah.
watch more of like the longer one where I watch like pitch by pitch and it's like sped up.
Yeah.
So I could get a sense of it because I was out and I returned home late.
When he came out, when they put him in the game, maybe it's just me, but I saw Tong. He dealed, but his face, it kind of looked disappointing, to say the least, because
Really?
I think of the fact that they brought him back up and they didn't give him any clear direction of what he was going to do. Like you can see it in his face while he was pitching and while he was coming off the mound, those 3 innings he pitched. Like he was just like, maybe he was just in the zone. But you can tell that he was not hiding his emotions at all on
I mean,
Friday
that's a fair
Something's
assessment
going on.
because
Something's
something's
going
going
on.
on. Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment because when he got called up, we mentioned it. We didn't have an answer because the team they didn't tell us anything if he's gonna start, if he's
Yeah.
gonna be a bullpen guy. We don't know. It was just a question mark, and that perfectly sums up. And you know what, Ronnie? That right there sums up what's wrong with this team. Too many questions when these guys get
Yeah.
called up. Too many questions. Too many head scratchers with decisions. That's all Mendoza, and it just feels like we don't have an identity. Again, it's hard. It's. I know you said it's bullshit and all that stuff. For me personally, when a team is young and we're such in a shit situation, when and shit's gonna happen, they're rookies, you know. As a group, when shit hits the fan, they're gonna go through rough patches. We need to see how they respond, and
Mhm.
if it's a bad response as a rookie, you could kind of forgive it a bit because they're rookies, but they will get it together, and we've seen the potential of these guys, and I'm excited for the future. But because we have also veterans who they're here to win now, it's just a frustrating bunch because again, I said it last episode, and I'll say it again. We're an expensive young team, and that makes no sense whatsoever. And it shouldn't have been like this. And that's Stern's fault. At the end of the day, it's Stern's fault. He did this, and he
Like I
put us in a
said,
situation.
it would have been better off if you would have kept Manil, Nimmo, and Alonso.
We should
Three
have kept
players
Nemo.
that came up, three players that came up through the organization. Imagine them with Soto, maybe Lindor, and the young guys that you just called up. These guys, you brought in like 4 or 5 new players. Most of
Yep.
them are hurt. 6 players. Most of them are hurt. You're playing with a new set of a new group of guys. It doesn't matter what they did last year or previous years. I think I mentioned this in the very first episode. When you have a new group of players mixed in with a bunch of people who were in there before, it's gonna take a while for that team to get something going. Just because the whole dynamic just
Yeah.
changed.
Yep.
Everything like the off season was, you just said it, questions, so many questions. That's exactly what was happening during the off season. What is going on? We lose those 3 guys. Edwin Diaz, same thing. You let him walk.
That shocked me.
Um, it's just a whole bunch. It's a whole
Crazy.
different roster. It's crazy,
It's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah. Well, unfortunately for the Mets, unfortunately for the Mets, again, Nationals next 3 games. We won't get too much into that because, I mean, we're throwing in the white towel. Ronnie threw in the white towel, and
I will
yeah,
say,
I'm there. I'm like,
I will say at this point of the season, when this stuff happens, I stop watching. It's
mm,
That
mm,
happened in 2024. I don't think we had such a bad losing record. I don't think we were doing that terrible until they turned it around. But it's
goodness,
not worth. Honestly, I'm 34. It's not worth my time at this point of watching
yeah.
a team like this play because they look like they had life. They gave us hope, but then they
And
do
then
some
this week
shit.
improved it. We're just bad. Yeah. This is just this is a summary of the episode, guys. It's just got our hopes up for this weekend. We're hoping that we could be respectably around the 5 to 4, between 4 to 3 games behind 500 going into Queens hosting the Nationals. By the way, the Nationals just beat the Braves. They had a rain delay, so I don't know, travel's late, but who cares? We have no offense. And predictions for that series, I hope we win a game and we go back to being 10 or 11 games under 500. And at that point, end of May, Mendoza's got to get fired. I think at this point, I'm just looking to see if Mendoza gets fired because now I'm interested to see what the direction is and what Stearns got to say. Stearns needs to answer this. We're going to get answers tomorrow from Stearns, or at least we hope he gets answers. Someone needs to be held accountable for this. If they didn't fire him before, I don't see them firing him again. So I'll be completely shocked and that'll be newsworthy if Mendoza gets fired. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Any final thoughts, Ronnie? Or you want to give out the Que Pena award to just the entire team? Because
The
I'll agree with
entire
that.
team. Yeah, no, I have some thoughts. I'm kind of. It's sad to say. There's 2 things on my mind. I want to know how Mets fans will react with the Mets coming back into Queens for this series. How
I'd
will
boo
they
them.
turn out?
I'd boo them.
Something inside of me is telling me that because we're Mets fans, we're gonna have their back, um, and we're still gonna cheer for them or be there for them, just because they're human. And maybe that'll give them some type of spark, knowing that the fan base is behind them. Obviously, knowing New York fans, they're probably gonna boo the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Now, I want Mendoza gone for everything that we just stated.
Yeah,
He's a nice guy. Liked him in the 2024 run. When he would go in there, it was like a football team that he was going in there every time
yeah.
they won a series
I'm convinced it
in
was
the
just
playoffs.
grimace at this point, where he put Mr. Mel on the hot seat. We
Yeah.
almost lost our mascot. That was a crazy time in New York.
But all these decisions is just proving like they're proving that he's not built for it. He's not built to handle a team like this. I'm not saying that we have the best team out there, not even on paper. I don't think we do, but you do have a good group of guys, and if you couldn't sneak in a win from this series this weekend, something's got to give. So,
Yeah,
uh, obviously, the firing might not happen tonight or tomorrow morning just because they're going straight into another series. I think if they had a day off tomorrow, it might have happened. So, if the Mets can only win one game this series, I think we're looking to expect to hear some news on Thursday.
yeah. The next day off. I
Yeah.
mean, it could have been nice. I feel like if I'm gonna get fired or laid off, Miami's a spot to do it. You know, just go to a bar and
Just
drink it off. Yeah, and got the beach and
we'll go,
retirement home.
we'll go look for him out there and just pat him on the shower. It's gonna be all right,
It's all
buddy.
right, man. You
It
got
wasn't
yeah.
meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
Downtown is right out the window if you look out. Well, yeah, I agree with you. My final thoughts. Just a very bad, very sad. It's a funeral episode for the Mets. This was brutal. I think I'm not even like mad. I don't sound mad. I am. I'm more annoyed and disappointed if anything. It's just sickening. This team is very sickening to get swept by the Miami Marlins. I mean, of all teams, my goodness. And I thought the Rockies were bad. I think getting swept by the Marlins was worse because it just gives Miami fans like they think that they're actually good, which is just more disrespectful. But I mean, we got swept. What the fuck can we say? Uh,
Can't say shit.
yeah, we can't. So just pathetic. Mike Pena award, by the way. I'll go to Devin Williams just for a simple fact that seventh time in MLB history that there was a walk-off grand slam, and Devin Williams gave it up. And I feel like it's just right. Devin Williams, the way his career. Listen, he's been pitching great. I get all that, but for someone that has had such a fall off between the Pete Alonso home run to like beginning of the season, it just seemed like he was destined to just give up a historic stat like the seventh time in history walk-off grand slam. And it was just a perfect point. Like it was a perfect explanation point to like just a shit ass weekend in Miami. It just felt right. And it felt right for everyone to laugh at the Mets, and it just felt so wrong for us to even give a shit about this team. So till next episode, we'll see if Mendoza gets fired or not. That's gonna be the firing question. We'll see. If you're listening on audio, thank you for listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Ronnie, I'm not gonna say the four letters. We're not destined to do anything right this year. It's very sad, and he's not even laughing anymore. Now he's pissed. Yeah, just put on the shades, buddy. All right, guys. Till next episode.
Yeah. Till next time.